Thanks for being with us. We hope you enjoyed our movie. Stay tuned for the North Bay News Hour and tune in again tomorrow night at 8 for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, starring Spencer Tracy and Ingrid Bergman. Ed Beebout and Doug Silveri with sports.
Closer to home, supporters and opponents of Measure A proposal that, if passed, would strengthen Marin County's nuclear-free ordinance, were in Superior Court today. The measure's backers were suing opponents for the way they worded their ballot argument. News 50's Mary DeLuco has more.
Superior Court Judge William Stevens narrowed the lawsuit Measure A's backers filed to 3 areas of the ballot argument. Whether it's true that there are not now and never have been nuclear weapons in Marin, that if it's successful, the measure will cost the county an extra $175,000 a year, and that the measure mandates the boycott of local merchants who deal with nuclear weapons contractors. After hearing from 2 of the plaintiff's witnesses and arguments from the defendant's attorneys, the judge ruled against the plaintiffs on the first 2.
We represent the county clerk who wanted this resolved as quick as possible, and I think the judge did that. And we represent the auditor whose fiscal statement was challenged, and the judge upheld that totally. So as far as we're concerned, the only bad side is they made me write the order.
But the judge ruled in favor of the plaintiffs on the use of the word mandates a boycott, and instructed defendants to delete the word mandates and substitute the words would result in.
We really got the one thing that I think is the most important issue, and that is that they can't state in the ballot that this ordinance mandates or directs a boycott of local businesses. And I think that was the most important issue, and that's the issue that we won.
For County Clerk Howard Hansen, today's ruling means he can give the go-ahead to get the sample ballots printed, a project that is already behind schedule.
I'm on a very tight deadline. I've passed the deadline, and every day that this litigation drags on is a date that places 160,000 people's vote in jeopardy.
In Marin County, Mary DeLuco, News 50.
State Senator Jim Nielsen is doing a study to figure out how long until Ramon Salcido sees the gas chamber if convicted. Speaking before the Kiwanis Club in Santa Rosa today, Nielsen says murder victims and their families aren't receiving justice. He says he'll do what he can to speed up the appeals process so condemned killers can't get never-ending delays.
At the federal level, there are 3 different bills in Congress that will expedite the federal appeals process, which has been a significant impediment in that entire system. So I am asking Congress to expedite their action on those particular bills. Within the state of California, I have carried legislation that Jerry Brown even signed many years ago, though he is an opponent of the death penalty, that expedites a 150-day automatic appeal in California here.
And Nielsen says it will be well into the next century before Salcido is executed if he's found guilty. If you live in Petaluma, you just might recognize the latest lotto winners because that's where they live too. Charles and Glee Murphy bought one of the 3 tickets with all 6 numbers in last night's lotto game. They played computer quick pick at Carl's Market on Washington Boulevard. Even after taxes, Charles and Glee will receive $607,000 a year for the next 20 years. They say they'll still worry about whether it's really true.
Are you afraid this is a dream and you're going to wake up?
Oh, not afraid I'm going to wake up. I'm just afraid this is the wrong ticket or the wrong week or something wrong that it, you know, that the computer must have malfunctioned and you really aren't a winner. Something like that.
He's a civil engineer and she works for the Petaluma School District. They say they don't want to move, but they won't waste any time in retiring early. A Mercedes limousine picks them up tomorrow. They're headed for Sacramento to sign all the necessary papers to collect the big dough. And when the news continues, disposable diapers have come under fire for taking up too much space in our landfills. But a local company thinks it has the answer. We'll have that story coming up.
I used to take ibuprofen Ibuprofen irritated my stomach sometimes. When I went to my doctor told me that Tylenol would not cause the stomach irritation that ibuprofen can. He recommended that I start using Tylenol, and I went to Tylenol. I got very good results. I got relief from my headache.
Debbie Eckert trusts Tylenol. Its pain reliever is in a class by itself.
I'm not going to experiment with any other types of pain relief medications.
The Men's Warehouse exposes the Italian suit myth.
It's a myth that you have to pay $600 or more for a real Italian suit. Maybe at Macy's, but at the Men's Warehouse, you get our quality Italian suit for only $375. Designed in Italy, made in Italy of Italian fabric. The Men's Warehouse, $375. Those are the facts, I guarantee it.
24 stores, including San Jose, San Rafael, Walnut Creek, Sunnyvale, Colma, Palo Alto, Fairfield, and Emeryville.
Auto World has it now. Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, Eagle, and Tough Dodge trucks. Over 130 models to choose from. Auto World specializes in tailoring the right vehicle at the right price to the right customer. If you need it, Auto World has it now. Jeep Cherokees with lots of features as low as $16,995. Top-selling minivans, Dodge Caravan, and Plymouth Voyagers with options galore, starting at $13,895. If you need it, we have it now at Auto World.
Our panel of experts continue their comparison of the Chevy full-size truck with the competition.
Chevy has a heavier frame, two-tier loading capacity, two-sided galvanized steel. Wow, fifth on the fly. The list goes on and on.
Chevy has the #1 selling half-ton truck in Northern California. See your Northern California Chevrolet dealer today.
That's why my dad drives a Chevy.
Recycling is no longer going to be a volunteer matter, but instead a state law. California requires cities and counties to cut down on the amount of trash they produce by 25% in the next 5 years, and they'll have to cut back by half of that by the year 2000. A special Sonoma County task force met today to hammer out a plan and determine just where changes need to be made.
I was going out and checking exactly what types of refuse we're receiving, the source, and just the whole aspect of refuse characterization in the county of Sonoma, including the cities.
The 26-member task force must have a reduction plan prepared for the state by July of next year. It's almost the 20th anniversary of Earth Day, and with that we have an update of the great diaper debate. News 50's Gina Kuklis shows us two less well-known options for babies wanting clean bottoms and a clean environment.
There are more options than ever for parents contemplating the great diaper debate. Environmentally conscious parents who don't like using disposables but are worried about sticking their babies with safety pins may want to try these. They're cloth diapers manufactured by a Sebastopol mail-order company called Baby Buns & Company. But instead of pins, the diaper is placed in a lamb's wool holder attached by Velcro. Baby Buns was started 7 years ago after its owner tried finding cloth diapers for her baby.
And the main idea at that time was wanting a diapering system for our son that was really breathable and natural against his skin.
Even though Van Buren believes cloth diapers are best, she also sells a type of biodegradable disposable diaper.
The particular biodegradable paper diaper that we sell has no plastic in it at all. It has no chemicals. It is totally made of rayon and paper, and it is made to be as absorbent as a regular cloth diaper. And you need to use it in some type of Velcro cover.
But biodegradable diapers have environmental drawbacks. Critics say they put raw sewage into landfills where it can spread disease. And the debate goes on. In Sebastopol, Gina Kuklis, News 50.
The battle over Bald Hill may not be over. A measure that would have preserved the 60-acre site as open space was defeated by Ross and San Anselmo residents on Tuesday. But Measure D, which would have cost each resident $32 a year for the next 25 years, failed by only 147 votes. And now a backer of the measure says the defeat was the result of a mailer that was sent out by the Hong Kong corporation that owns the property. Jerry Draper says the company didn't identify itself as the mailer's author. and he's asking the State Fair Political Practices Commission to investigate. Draper says he wants the measure to go back on the November ballots. Some of Rohnert Park's young people are learning how to address the problems facing teens in their community. They got together today for a town summit, hoping to turn ideas into action. News 50's Chris Carter has more.
The 70 or so students, parents, and community leaders are finding out how to make the grade. Not in school so much as in the classroom on the street. Substance abuse, teen pregnancy, unemployment, and illiteracy. The idea is to come up with several specific areas needing the most attention and then figure out what the city has to help combat those problems.
It's not a bunch of adults, business people, school board, sitting around making decisions for our children. We had 30 students here today, and almost all of them have said something that we needed to hear. One girl told us she's always being told that these are the best years of her life, and they're just not.
Well, if they put some of the stuff they talk about into action, it will work. But other than that, like, it might not work because they do a lot of talking, you know, but it doesn't always work.
This town meeting is a good start, but I think more people need to be here and more people need to get involved because the students that are here are the students that care, and we need to reach out to the people, the students that don't really want to get involved with anything but should because, you know, their lives may be going bad, like teenage pregnancy or drugs or something.
One issue receiving a lot of attention lately in the Rohnert Park area is gangs. Students today say while it is a growing problem, it's been blown way out of proportion.
It's not really gangs, it's just people not getting along with one another, people that have maybe grown up for different cities fighting, but not too much gangs.
Why have this program in Rohnert Park? Well, participants say it's not because the city's young people have more problems than anywhere else. Quite the contrary. They just have the initiative to tackle the ones they do have. In Rohnert Park, Chris Carter, News 50.
And the program is based on a national system but was put on locally by Rohnert Park's Public Safety Department.